Once upon a time, there was a mermaid named Raina. She lived with her parents in a small underwater cave that her parents had turned into a home. Besides her parents, she didn't see any other mermaids. Raina was barely even let outside. Her parents told her the world was a dangerous place, especially for a mermaid. Raina didn't mind staying indoors. The water was always warmer inside their home. It was also well lit, unlike the outside, which was almost always dark. She often found it hard to pass the time, especially when her parents were busy or sleeping. But she found ways. Sometimes she would see how fast she could swim from one side of their home to another. Sometimes she would spin around until she got dizzy. And sometimes, since she was short enough and her hair was long enough, she would curl into a ball, use her sea blue hair as a blanket, and daydream for hours on end. Eventually, she would fall asleep wherever her parents found her daydreaming, and her parents would put a real blanket on her and kiss her goodnight. Raina's parents didn't understand her most of the time, but they made an effort. The two things they wanted most in the world was to be close to their daughter and to keep her safe. One night, as she was about to go to sleep, she heard something outside their door. They used a rock as a door, and the door was barely big enough for her parents to swim through, so whatever was out there wasn't getting in. Still, it startled Raina. She slowly swam towards the door. She heard more sounds. Raina put her ear to the door and listened. "What are you doing?" her mom asked her, coming out of the kitchen. Raina moved away from the door. "I heard something outside," she told her mom. "It scared me, so I wanted to listen to what it was." Her mom sent her to bed after assuring her she'd be fine. The next night, Raina heard something outside again. She went over to the door, but it was gone. The rock had been moved. It wasn't anywhere inside, so Raina figured it had been moved from the outside. She looked through the doorway and saw nothing. Raina stuck her head through the hole. After she looked around, she saw nothing. Then she saw the sand. It was littered with beautiful odd objects and plants. She swam through the doorway. The ground filled her with wonder. Suddenly, a net fell on Raina. It tangled all over her. She struggled to get it off, and accidentally started rolling down a slope away from her home. She rolled through seaweed, coral, and rocks. Eventually, she bumped into a large rock which stopped her from rolling. She had many cuts from all the sharp rocks and coral she rolled over. Raina stopped struggling to get out of the net because she hurt too much. Suddenly, she saw something approaching. It was another mermaid. Raina was surprised to see another mermaid. The mermaid swam to Raina, smiled, and ate. The end.